Hello everyone, my name is Kevin Go. You might recognize me for such videos as the Danganronpa Ultimate Review, and some music video about two homosexuals. A bunch of new Danganronpa V3 info has been released, specifically details about the new cast and their ultimate talents, and a good look at their new designs and such. So here I am about to give you my first impressions, thoughts, opinions, etc. I apologize in advance if I don't come across in the most concise way. This was a very impromptu decision on my part. I'm still trying to wrap my head around being all alone, just talking into a microphone like this, having to articulate all my thoughts on the spot, and having all of my words just flow naturally. I'm basically just talking to myself right now. It's actually pretty hard to do conceivably unless you're like crazy or something. With all that said, let's begin. Kaede Akamatsu, the ultimate pianist, the apparent actual protagonist of the game. You know, not any of the other characters that were heavily advertised before. No, instead it's this girl. She has the hoji, which means she is indeed the main character. I can't say I'm really overly fond of her design. It's pretty bland and atypical, which I guess is perfect for a protagonist, but on the whole I would say it's pretty okay. Her choice of talent is kinda odd though, considering the previous protagonists have all had titles that were, relatively significant to Hope's Peak, or would, instill some sort of mystery. Whereas here, she's just a pianist. Whether or not she actually has more going for her has to be seen, but for now, it does just come across as rather odd that she is indeed the main character. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up doing some sort of like bait and switch type of thing. Have you play as her as the protagonist for like, the prologue or something, or just like up to chapter 1, then she gets fucking murdered, and then now you're playing as someone else, like the Robutt or something. It might just fit the overall theme of the game though. Because if she is just a pianist, and like even her design is just comes across as someone who is very unassuming, just kind of, I guess you could say innocent, yeah. And yeah, if she's just an innocent person who gets sent to this gets sent to a prison, has to live amongst these convicted criminals. Which also relates to that new lying mechanic that's going to be present in trials. Yeah, the fact that she is a pianist might not necessarily be so strange. It's like, hey, you're a completely normal high school girl. Go hang out with these murderers and psychopaths. They're gonna be your new best friends. Even her design, I feel, doesn't really mesh well, or kind of feels out of place in comparison to the rest of the cast, too. So with that said, yeah, that's probably a definite possibility. Probably the most likely possibility, actually, so yeah. Bland design's one thing, but hopefully her overall character can make up for that. Second character is Rantaro Amami. Probably butchering all these Japanese names, but whatever. It's Chair-kun. He looks like an asshole. Rantaro Amami, the ultimate question mark. Probably Kamada 2.0, honestly. At this point in time, of course, we cannot really ascertain what the question mark would overall stand for. But either way, it's obvious that he's gonna be playing quite the significant role throughout the story. So you're not gonna have to worry about him, worrying about him surviving, his overall well-being, whatever. He's got the plot armor, don't worry. Don't worry about him till like chapter 5 or so. I guess I'd say I like his design, though I do feel it's sort of just like in the same boat as Kaede, where there's just not a lot really going on with it. Hopefully his character ends up being pretty good, and or, is one who will end up being hate to love and love to hate. Just like Kamada. Next is the ultimate inventor, Miu Iruma. Oh shit, she looks pretty fucking cool actually. She certainly looks the part. She's got a real steampunk look going on. Quite the advances in technology for this game. I mean, you got the robot and now you got all this stuff, so yeah. Takes place in the distant future. If I had to really describe her design, it makes me think of, like, I guess I'd say Bad Girl from No More Heroes, mixed in with steampunk elements. She seems pretty cool. Probably not gonna survive because they always end up fucking killing everyone that I like, but yeah, she's cool. I hope she doesn't actually end up being like the scum of the earth, because apparently that's everyone here. Scum of the scum. The scummiest scum that ever scummed a scum. I think I can see her being a killer. Well, with that was almost a sentence. With these kinds of characters, it's like, it can really go either way. Yeah, a victim or a murderer, but most likely not a survivor. Generally the people who are super flashy in terms of design, or are just, overly peppy and pretty bombastic in their overall personality, are not gonna make it to the end. Because, they gotta keep the tension in the story somehow, which I guess the best solution to that is to kill off anyone who's showing any sort of happiness whatsoever. Bastards. Overall, yeah, she looks spunky. I like her. Kokichi Ouma. He looks like an asshole. Is that fucking grape juice? The super high school level ultimate supreme leader. What do you mean supreme leader? What's with the grape juice? What is he, the fucking grape juice dictator? It's the fucking grape juice dictator! Well, outside of his official art here, he actually looks pretty classy, pretty glamorous. Probably gonna be a dick, and if not that, then probably a precious little cinnamon roll, playing dress-up. Also, speculating right now, I have a feeling he's gonna be flaming gay. I'm predicting he is going to die. A horrible, horrible death. Gonta Gokuhara, the ultimate entomologist, apparently. aka the most badass bug catcher of all time. And he's wearing a suit. Keep it classy, bro. Design's okay, doesn't really have too much going on. Aka the new Sakura slash Nidai. And like the big characters, probably gonna be one of the nicest of the crew. You know, as nice as someone can be if you got sent to prison, of course, but yeah. And like them, probably not gonna survive the events of the story, unfortunately. It's the Robutt! He looks like an asshole, whose name is just Keebo. And his talent is indeed the ultimate robot. Keebo, aka not nice guy Nagi, aka not the protagonist apparently. Don't let the Ahoji fool you, it's fake! Since we're not playing as him, I wonder what that will mean for his chances of survivability. He most likely will have some sort of significance, assumably from his design alone. Either die really quickly, like probably in like the first chapter, or make it to the end. I am also interested to see how he, well first, the reasonings behind his creation, considering he's a robot, and also how he ended up being placed within the confines of the prison. He may be a robot, but even he still has more of a spine than Naegi. Tsumugi Shirogane, the ultimate cosplayer. Oh snap, that wig. It's Hatsune Miku. Design-wise, okay, it's kind of what I would expect from a cosplayer, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what the cosplayer did to warrant being sent to a prison, but okay. That'll be interesting to see. I can picture her either being a victim or a murderer. And if she was a murderer, it'd be pretty interesting to see how her talent could factor into, you know, the killing. I definitely do not see her being a survivor, unfortunately. Also, it'd be pretty cool if, you know, being the cosplayer, if she had multiple different sprites, and like each chapter would, you know, change into a different outfit or something. Overall, I would say I do like her, but I wouldn't say it's anything spectacular. Oh, and speaking of Shirogane, hello, Dark Naoto, aka Shuuichi Saihara, aka Ultimate Detective. I mean, goddamn, is that not just Danganronpa's version of Naoto Shirogane? Just a Persona 4 reunion. First we had Yukiko, then Yu Narukami. Friggin' teddy bear mascots? Now it's friggin' Naoto. Who is, by the way, totally a boy, just so you know. And okay, Ultimate Detective. He seems like such a cool guy. I mean, I guess he looks like a detective. I'm not sure what he did to warrant being put into a prison, being the detective. Okay, now this could go really either way. Victim or a killer. Danganronpa often likes to subvert our expectations, and you know, besides question mark, if detective is the other returning role from the previous games, they might want to do something with that. Even if the game supposedly has no connection with the previous ones, they might still want to subvert, you know, the fans' expectations, so, you know, keep things fresh and all that. Him being a detective, I can see him either dying very early, as in like chapter 1, or perhaps they will pull a meat can and have him be incredibly valuable and useful to the cast, but then when it comes time for him to go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, he can intentionally mislead them and, you know, direct all suspicion away from him. Another possibility could be for him to be the traitor, if they decide to keep that plot device in play, and will most likely have a significant amount of focus throughout the story, and or die instantly, and possibly be a dick. He's so mysterious and cool. Ugh. He looks like an asshole. Okay, this is a name and a half. Korekiyo Shinguuji. Hey, I did it. Korekiyo Shinguuji, Ultimate Folklore Specialist. Is that a fucking gimp mask he's wearing? What the fuck? Oh god, this guy's design has a lot going on. Folklore Specialist. So he's like fucking a kabuki dude? He's like kabuki, fucking opera? Okay. He reminds me of Orochimaru. I am not surprised that a person with his aesthetic is in this prison. Whether or not he will be a no-good, backstabbing, murderous psychopath is to be seen. Probably be the case though, but yeah. Basically he's fucking creepy. Like him being a killer would probably think that would be way too obvious, but maybe that's what they want you to think. I mean, look at Celeste and look at Gundam. It's pretty obvious both of them are probably gonna be killers, so I don't know if I'm gonna like him as a person or not. I don't know. He looks like he's into some freaky shit, and I'm not just talking about the gimp mask. Okay, so Orochimaru / Izuru 2.0. I guess I like him. Probably gonna be a killer, probably won't survive. Next. Tenko Chabashira, Ultimate Aikido Master. First off, dat leg bend. Second, dat leg bend again. Third, new Owari / Asahina, I guess, in terms of being a fighter. They always need two of them. They always need an intense person and a fighter for some reason. Hopefully she's not an idiot like Owari. She will either, yeah, be a survivor, just going off of, you know, typical Danganronpa trends, or they might want to subvert that this time around and kill her in a horribly brutal fashion. Design-wise, I don't know, well, That's a dangerously short skirt she's got going on. I don't know about it. Yeah, I don't know about her design. Just like, oh, almost a sentence. Her design has a lot of conflicting things going on with it, but whether separate or together, none of them really scream out Aikido master to me. Going from that logic, I guess you could consider it a bad design. Hopefully she at least has a personality. Okay, these two I actually really like. Kirumi, or Kill-Me, I guess. Kirumi Tojo, the ultimate maid, aka the most badass looking fucking maid of all time. What, you gonna stab people with the broom? What are you doing? I dig it. She reminds me of Peko. Hopefully she's more memorable than Peko. And yeah, just going from that, possibly a killer. Probably not gonna survive, unfortunately. Overall, I like her, end of story. Then we have Yukiko Amagi, and or Maki Harakawa, ultimate nursery school teacher. Okay? Can you be a nursery school teacher at like 16, 18, assuming their age, I guess? What kind of horrible shit did you have to do as a nursery school teacher, get put in a prison? Maybe it involved killing her preschoolers, perhaps. Yeah. What, in Danganronpa? How absurd. While Yukiko's design doesn't really scream out anything that would relate to nursery school teacher, it is a design that, at the very least, is pretty aesthetically pleasing. Now, the main thing that's bugging me with her, though, is because her Larry Butts and the Robutt were all advertised previously, how significant they will be overall to the story. And they also did show them off in the trial for that one new trailer that we got, but again, so was Sayaka, so was Tagami, etc. So her design also has kind of a heroine type of feel to it. For her and the other two, it could really fall into one of the three camps. She also does scream out Kirigiri also, so hey, if they can't kill off Kirigiri, you might as well kill this girl instead, huh? Alright, next two. Ryuma Hoshi, ultimate tennis player, okay. Ultimate tennis player. He looks like an ass. Just judging from design alone, probably not gonna survive because he's goofy looking, and the only people that can survive are all the beautiful people. Design-wise, it's interesting. I like it, even though it does not scream out tennis player in the slightest. He doesn't even have tennis shoes on. He seems like he's gonna be a real little shit. I kinda want the English dub to make him talk like a stereotypical greaser. Or a stereotypical, like, 1920s gangsta. Yeah, like, yeah, see? I have a feeling he's not gonna survive, but whether he's going to be a murderer or a victim, I'm leaning more towards probably victim. Overall, he is decent. And now we're back to Larry Butts. Kaito, oh shit, Kaito. Oh, Kaito Momota, the ultimate astronaut. How? Ugh, look at that smarmy face. It's a face that was born to be punched. Again, with like a lot of the other ones, his design doesn't have anything really that would scream astronaut, but it is pretty aesthetically pleasing. I think I'm getting a Survivor vibe from him. And I hope he's just not another overly confident jerk-ass, because we really need more of those. And the final students, we have Himiko Yumino. Ultimate magician, not witch, just magician. Cool. Yeah, she definitely looks the part. She looks pretty young. I wonder if she's gonna be similar at all to Trucy Wright from Ace Attorney. She's what I expected. She's what I would expect a magician to look like, but I guess it's just not something I'm overly fond of. She also has animals depicted with her in her art, because, you know, magic. Which, if she ends up being a murderer, could potentially lead us to another Gundam situation. She is probably going to be a victim or a murderer. Probably a victim. And finally, Angie Yonaga. Angie Yonaga, the ultimate artist. I'm guessing she is a foreigner. Being dark-skinned, probably a survivor. They always have to have one of those. Depending on how cheery she is, will affect her chances of survival as well. Her design is pretty okay. I have no strong feelings whatsoever. It's kind of how I feel with a lot of these. Pretty neutral. Like, I don't know if they got a new character design or anything for both Danganronpa 3s, because, well, just from Danganronpa 3, the anime alone, a lot of the designs for the Future Foundation were pretty, lackluster. It's still kind of the case for a lot of these too, but most of them have grown on me, though. I'm liking how a lot of them seem to be using newer assets. Completely new assets, completely new everything, and yeah, aside from the fucking obvious one, a lot of them are pretty distinct from the cast of the previous games. Same Fate Syndrome is still in effect. Actually, it's not even that prevalent. But it does seem like they're really making it a point now to really differentiate the characters from one another, along with characters from previous games. Which is good. It's good to make them more unique and have them stand out on their own. Oh yeah, we have a student to talk about. Okay, overall, artist, I like you. I like her, not one of my favorites. And finally, the last picture here, Monokuma's return. Monokuma is indeed returning as the antagonist. Probably not Junko, considering she has met a horrible bloody death. And not just Monokuma, but there will also be 5 other Monokumas to serve as the antagonists for the game, aka the Monokuma Rangers. They could either act as the Monobeasts from Danganronpa 2, or be his own little mini version of the kids from Ultra Despair Girls. There's gonna be a lot of new Monokuma merchandise, let me tell you that. Also, that picture of Monokuma is kind of unfortunate. So lewd. And yeah, that's the cast for Danganronpa V3 in a nutshell. I am pretty cool with the bulk of these character designs. I hope they do go into the backstories of how each of them, ended up in the prison and everything, especially considering some of their talents and the ages of some of them too. In terms of survivors, it'll probably still be around the range of 4 to 6. And yeah, if they do follow the trends of the previous games, it'll be 1 blonde person, 1 idiot, 1 douchebag, 1 athlete, and or someone with darkish skin, and then the spineless main character. Or since it's a prison, they're all apparently the scum of the earth, they could all die. If I had to pick a favorite design, I would have to say, well, I can't really pick one favorite, but my favorites would have to go with nursery school teacher, maid, detective, Robutt, and inventor. Those are the ones that are the most aesthetically pleasing to me, and hopefully they don't die horrible deaths. And overall, yeah, the game already looks pretty fucking good. With all that said, thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like what I do. And also in the comments, tell me, who are your guys' favorite designs? And also, give me your predictions for victims, murderers, survivors, etc. And I guess also how the story's gonna play out. I'd like to hear any of the predictions or any of the crazy fan theories any of you guys might have for what's to come for Danganronpa V3. And also, that last episode of Danganronpa 3. The feels. And with all that said, this is Kevin Go, signing out. Monokuma Rangers! I wonder, oh jeez, Rick, my balls! My scrotum!